Hey everyone. So we're going to continue with last week's call about the different types of shadow footwork and how we can utilize shadow footwork to really enhance our footwork ability. And what we talked about last time was the different styles of shadow footwork, not too much of the examples of it, but just the way you can do it, where you can go slow to fast, you can go really fast all around to increase the speed of your footwork and the cardio part of it and examples like that, right? And one big thing that we want to continue on with is kind of the visualization and the ability to understand why you're doing certain footworks and how it will kind of come into the match play. And there's a bunch of different routines and examples. And I kind of have a couple examples that I can show, like from Bampton Justin, from we have a video that we show, and then I have some examples on my own end, just to give you guys some examples. Because if you just go around and do six corner footwork and things like that, yes, that's all great and good just to get the feeling of the court. But the visualization of what actually will happen in a rally and what you can do to essentially build up those scenarios is really, really important. And I'll kind of talk about that a bit more. So, for instance, we'll go to, let me share my screen here. Okay, so for instance, I kind of have a couple of videos here of me just kind of doing some scenarios. And obviously, this one is with multi shuttles. But essentially, if I'm working on my front court pressure, or I'm trying to take things in the front really early, or I'm trying to, in doubles, hit and cut off things and look to be active in the front, I can do this type of shadow footwork where I'm transitioning from the front to attack and things like that. So, this will kind of what it looks like. Think about it without the shuttle, but essentially, I'm trying to see how my footwork is kind of one, like the tempo of my footwork isn't like two shuffles back or one step walk back like this. The second I hit the shuttle, my split happens immediately to the next shuttle. And that's kind of the tempo that I want to keep up with in this type of multi shuttle scenario, sorry, in the shadow footwork scenario, because in a real game, when you're doing this front court pressure, you don't have a lot of time. So let's watch my footwork here. But see how after every shot, I'm splitting immediately off the base of where I land, right? And that's really important when you're doing this like faster type of footwork, is that you're making sure that the split is happening immediately after you hit the shuttle. And that will create that ability to go fast or be able to go slow, right? Because in this scenario, again, split, hit, split, hit, split, hit, split, hit, right? And that's kind of the timing. It's like you need to learn how to get these timings down. Hit, split, hit, split, hit, split. See how I turn my hips back like this? See how, like, no matter where I hit from, see, I hit the shuttle here, right? Boom, I hit the shuttle, even if I'm taking it late. The tempo is so fast that now from this position, so see, I hit, right? This, I don't have time to step back. I have to immediately split and turn immediately like this. See, every shot hit, split, every shot hit, split. And for this drill or this shadow footwork, because I'm covering the front, this is what I want to try and replicate with my footwork. I don't want to see like hit, walk back, then hit in this scenario of kind of visualization of this movement. This will really help for, say, like front court stuff. Then we have like another scenario. I'm kind of practicing defense into like speeding up to the front and taking it early. This is more of like a transitional footwork where I'm trying to now turn my defense into offense. So there's an example where you go to the sides and then speed up to the front. There's also an example where you can go to the side and then and then jumping up and speeding up to the back. So these are things that you can practice. So let's take an example. See, and then I speed up. Oh, that's a bad example, but there, like this. So see how I'm going? I'm going really easy, only three corners, but really focusing on the speed and power. And then I'm going defense, defense, and then boom, speed up to the front like this. See? Right? And what I'm doing for this counterattack is once I'm off my defensive split, I'm not staying square anymore. I'm staying in this angle so that I can choose to go backwards or I can choose to go forwards, right? And the key is not to, so say if I was doing this defensive movement to counterattack, I'm not coming back with defense, then defense, and then staying square because square is then in a defensive state, and then I can't use that to capitalize, right? So what I'm really practicing here is my hip turn in my defensive movement after I hit my defense. So that will allow me to now capitalize or try to counterattack on the shot that your opponent plays. And the way my hips move, after my defensive side movements, see how my hips are coming from the side? So the hips are not square, they're angled. At whatever corner I pick, I can angle them, and that will help me kind of choose a corner too, right? See how my hips are, my side and side is lined up there? Boom, like this. Does that kind of make sense? And easy, it's super easy. I'm going 3 corners, really practicing defense, defense, and then push again. Boom. And see how early I'm taking it in the front, right? I'm really trying to practice getting my racket out fast, right? Really extending my elbow and taking it as early as possible, and really imagining myself in this scenario where I'm defending and then I'm really taking that next one super early, right? If you do these defensive footworks or you're doing any type of footwork, but you're taking it very late, then you're not practicing that ideal scenario where you're imagining yourself taking it early. The more you try to imagine taking it early, the easier it'll be in a match too, right? Here's another example where I'm kind of working on my attacking focus. Though I'm imagining is I'm putting pressure on my opponent from the front. I'm putting pressure, and then they lift to me, and then I'm turning back, really trying to speed up and attack, right? Because a lot of times when you put drives in the front, you kind of just stand there and you're not ready to go back if they lift, and then you end up taking the next one late. So this one will kind of practice that scenario where you're putting pressure on your opponent from the front, and then they lift it over you, but then that's your chance to actually speed up and attack. So let's watch. One push, and then boom, split up. See how I extend? See how my change of speed there? Push, okay, push, and then boom, change speed, bang. And then I just reset it like this, right? I walk back, okay, imagining the same thing, next scenario, again, boom, push, okay, again, push, and then push, up, boom, both sides, right? And you notice with the tempo of my footwork, after I'm attacking and I'm putting pressure on my opponent, the tempo of my footwork is really quick. So right now, when I push, see how I'm already splitting right away? Boom, I'm splitting, and then I'm splitting right away again like this. I'm not taking 1 or 2 steps back and then I'm exploding out, because in a real scenario, when I'm making the shot pace fast, the split step, you don't have time to walk. Like, you don't have time to take 1 or 2 steps and split. You need to split immediately, right? And that will help you with the tempo of when the shots actually happen in a real match, right? One push again, and one push again. Boom. And then I can jump in and attack. Right? Does that make sense? So it's just allowing yourself to use the right tempo when you're doing these kind of surprising footworks. Say you're doing high lift defensive, then yes, then you would kind of take 1 or 2 steps back and then you would defend, right? But for high tempo stuff, it's always the split step is always coming off very quickly with 1 or no steps at all, really, like this, right? And then here's some other examples with Justin. This is kind of the same thing I was talking about with the side into a counterattack kind of thing, where he's see how he's doing the fence, and then boom, he's jumping straight back into the corner, right? He's doing defense, and then from that position, he's already splitting and jumping up to cut things off like this, right? Does that make sense? So it's really about just getting the combos and the pieces right. And see, he's kind of doing both. He's doing his side defense and then quickly reacting and pushing to and the next corner like this, right? Reaction, and then side front, boom, like this. Ready, side, boom, and up, quick, boom, like this, right? There's multiple examples. There's the side reaction footwork, where you're just going to the side and then relaxing. Then this is another good exercise with shadow footwork where you can do by yourself, and you're just kind of practicing the fast movements from side to side. What you can do is you can grab a bunch of shuttles and you can kind of target what you want. So you can target the side to side movement with 10 shuttles. So boom, you have 10 shuttles, and then your job is to really put speed into the quickness. See how he's using the shuffles and really pushing the sides? Shuttle pickup is another great way to really get this like explosive and this kind of feedback when you're getting low into these corners. Because what the shuttle helps you do is it helps you get low and helps you make sure that your center of gravity is low while you get these and take these shuttles. It helps with being able to lunge properly and keep the core stable as you lunge down and keep yourself balanced as you come back, and then being able to push, right? And this is really important in badminton because you're not going to just be up top all the time. You're not going to just always be up on the net. This will help you take things that are lower. Say, for instance, you're low to the ground and you need to get these lifts. You can now get these shots that are lower. This helps you practice, not that taking it early and high. This helps you be stable as you are taking shots from lower, say like a defensive shot, or say the shuttles are in the front here and you're practicing getting them and then moving them to the side or whatever, right? This will help you being able to stay stable and controlling your footwork while you lunge in a deep, low position, right? And that will really, really help keep that when you actually play as well. And right, this is one example of where he's just going side to side, right? Boom, boom, 10, come on, yeah, right? And then he finishes, boom, like this, yeah. So Charles is another really, really great way to do everything. Yeah, and then you see he's doing the smash kill kind of footwork where he's just practicing one side and then he's really just trying to sprint forward, right? Boom, smash, come in, push, right? Like just practicing that attacking footwork that I showed, right? Just easy stuff like that. And if you have a partner, then it can be a little bit more randomized where the partner is kind of pointing for you and you're just kind of following and reacting quickly to where his point is. You don't want to move too fast, like to a corner. You have to wait until that person is, say, pointing here. Boom, he points, and then boom, you react to that corner like this. Yeah, right? And Armand actually made a really good app that can help you. Even if you don't have a partner, you can kind of just set your phone down and it will beep to a corner and it will kind of randomly beep. And then boom, you can kind of react and move yourself to practice that shadow footwork. But that's kind of different scenarios, right? These are a lot of different scenarios that you can do to kind of visualize what's happening in the rallies, right? So I give you a bunch of examples here, and that's something that you can kind of practice on your own time, right? And yeah, again, just making sure that we're really visualizing when you're playing is just like really visualizing how the rally is going to happen. If you just kind of just go to corner, and you're not really thinking, it's not going to help you because you're not really imagining what's happening in the real game. And right, you could even say, for instance, you are doing your serve and receive. That's also another thing you can shadow as well, is not just the movements. You can also practice, okay, I'm going to serve in doubles, I'm going to serve into the T, and then I'm going to rush up, and then I'm going to try and cut things off, or I'm going to flick serve and then run back and practice my shadow defense, or things like that. Or even in singles, you can pretend if you serve high. So you serve high and then you're ready to get ready on the defense, right? Just different scenarios. Or you could even practice a whole rally. You could say, okay, I'm going to practice a rally out and see how it goes. I'm going to serve 0-0. Boom, serve. You imagine your opponent's hitting you there. You play the late corner. You bring in, your opponent plays net. You high lift, and then you walk, and then you do your steps back, and then you defend. And then boom, the rally, you practice a scenario that might have happened in a real match, right? Say your opponent is really good at pushing you flat and you get caught a lot on your serve receive. Then you can practice serving and then pushing and getting into those late corners. Because I know that's a scenario a lot of people struggle with, is off the serve, the person pushes you flat and you get stuck. So you can practice that right away. You just practice getting back to base, serving, and then really pushing your feet and looking for that late corner. And then boom, looking for that other corner, your backhand corner, right? And just stuff like that. So it makes it a lot more simple and easy, right? Does that make sense? So yeah, I hope that helps. Let me know if you have any questions. And yeah, that's it for today. Thank you.